and Whoopi Goldberg under the ABC News umbrella losing their minds on a daily basis. And it's actually kind of fun to watch, but at some point, people are going to be like, all right, I don't want to listen to this anymore because, quite frankly, I can't trust you people because you told us that Donald Trump was Hitler, and now apparently Hitler is going to be the 47th president of the United States.
I agree with you, Joy. I can't sing a lick, but I certainly, and I have not been asked, but if I were asked, it would be a hard no.
Carrie Underwood shook up the entertainment world when she performed at Donald Trump's presidential inauguration. While some saw it as a patriotic move by America's sweetheart, others saw it as a bold political statement. One of the harshest reactions came from The View's Sunny Hostin, who didn't hold back. She called the performance disappointing and slammed Carrie for aligning, intentionally or not, with an administration she finds deeply troubling.
Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountain majesties above the fruited plain. America.
Started as a high-profile performance for Carrie Underwood, quickly spiraled into a full-blown controversy. The spotlight shifted from her vocals to a storm of backlash, not about music, but about morals, loyalty, and politics. That dramatic mic drop moment came with a price. Within days, her performance turned into headline fuel, igniting a media firestorm. And that was just the beginning. Sunny Hostin from The View wasn't done. She cranked up her criticism, going beyond disappointment and straight into outrage. On live TV, she questioned how Carrie could wave the American flag and sing patriotic songs while performing for someone she bluntly labeled a convicted felon. That comment? It hit like a bomb. Social media exploded. Viewers weren't just reacting. They were dissecting every word. To many, it didn't sound like commentary anymore. It felt personal, an attack on Carrie's character, values, and patriotism. But Sunny didn't flinch. She doubled down. And that's when Carrie's fans stepped in, firing back and turning the internet into a digital battleground. Suddenly, Sunny became the focus. Critics accused her of crossing the line, turning opinion into a takedown. Others praised her for speaking out against what they saw as hypocrisy. What was once entertainment gossip had become a full-blown culture war, where celebrity, politics, and public opinion collided. Meanwhile, Carrie stayed silent, at first. But behind the scenes, she was preparing a move no one saw coming. No tweets, no interviews. Instead, she went legal, filing a defamation lawsuit against Sunny Hostin and several other hosts of The View. The gloves were off. Carrie's legal team argued that Sunny's remarks weren't just harsh, they were reckless, false, and intended to damage her reputation. In a world where image is everything, Carrie wasn't about to let it slide. Her fans praised the move, calling it bold, fearless, and long overdue. To them, this wasn't just about Carrie. It was about fighting back against a media machine that often blurs the line between criticism and character assassination. And just when it seemed like things couldn't get any hotter, another voice entered the ring, Joe Rogan. Known for his no-filter takes, Rogan dove into the controversy on his podcast, torching The View and fiercely defending Carrie. His blunt commentary lit up the internet all over again. Because now, things weren't just heated.
I think art is art, and you have a right to perform where you want to perform. I agree with you, Joy. I can't sing a lick, but I certainly, and I have not been asked, but if I were asked, it would be a hard no.
They were explosive. School Joe Rogan didn't hold back, tearing into Sunny Hostin with brutal sarcasm and scathing commentary. He mocked The View, calling it a sensationalist circus, focused more on outrage than honest conversation. For Rogan, this wasn't about politics, it was about hypocrisy. He slammed Sunny for attacking Carrie Underwood over a performance while ignoring broader inconsistencies in media outrage. Rogan said it was all about what sells, not morals. The internet exploded. Clips of his rant went viral, with fans flooding social media, tagging friends and commenting, "Finally, someone said it." Rogan became the voice of frustration for many tired of media drama, and he wasn't done. In a follow-up, he doubled down, mocking the intelligence of the View panel. "If you average the IQ, you're not even hitting triple digits," he called Sunny's arguments weak, claiming the outrage over Carrie was just another example of shallow, performative media posturing. For many, Rogan wasn't just reacting. He was leading the charge against the media's fake moral outrage.
I saw you on The View.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's been overwhelming my past couple days. So I just went in there, did my thing. I had no idea what to expect. I didn't know who Sunny Hostin was. I actually still really don't know. So I wasn't expecting necessarily for her to kind of try to ambush me in that way and attack my character in that way.
Well, it is the show that people love to hate.
Yes, that's true. That's true.
They get so much hate watching viral clips of them saying ridiculous things. I mean,
Yeah.
it is a rabies-infested henhouse.
Social media went into full meltdown mode as the fallout from Joe Rogan's comments spread like wildfire. Fans, critics, influencers, and casual observers all had their say, and no one was holding back. Some argued Rogan crossed the line, being too harsh and punching down. But many saw it differently. Rogan wasn't attacking. He was cutting through the noise with the blunt honesty no one else dared to deliver. Rogan had officially become a key voice in the growing backlash against The View and Sunny Hostin. What started on his podcast quickly exploded across platforms. His takedown was clipped, remixed, and shared on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, and YouTube. Joe Rogan Was Right began trending, and the internet was divided into camps. On one side were those who celebrated Rogan's no-nonsense commentary, calling it long overdue. On the other were critics who accused him of tearing down women in media and fueling a toxic culture war. One tweet summed it up. "Finally, someone calls out Sunny's nonsense. Joe Rogan for the win." It went viral, further escalating the situation. As the drama intensified, people dug into past clips of The View, uncovering contradictions and moments that painted the show in a different light. What started as outrage over Carrie Underwood's performance turned into a larger credibility crisis for The View. Clips resurfaced showing Trump being warmly welcomed on the show, an embrace now seen as hypocrisy, as the same show now vilified him. Rogan seized on that, pointing out the glaring inconsistencies. His audience agreed, doubling down on the idea that The View wasn't guided by principle, but by political convenience. The conversation had shifted. It was no longer just about Carrie. It was about the authenticity of the media and their own contradictions.
Out the View hosts, among the dumbest people on television.
Sunny's dumb. Certainly not the brightest person. And what she just said just doesn't make any sense. It's just like so silly to say. It's not a well thought out.
As Rogan continued, school, here's a slightly more concise version of that final part while keeping the drama and tone. The backlash hit a boiling point, with many arguing that public figures like Sunny Hostin shouldn't be able to throw personal jabs without facing real consequences. To them, this wasn't free speech. It was targeted defamation that could harm someone's career. But Sunny's defenders pushed back, saying she was just voicing an opinion during a politically charged moment. Still, the criticism kept growing. Social media lit up with calls for apologies, suspensions, even firings. What started as a reaction to Carrie Underwood's performance had now turned into a national debate about media ethics and the line between opinion and slander. Sunny stayed silent, but that only added fuel to the fire. Then reports surfaced, suggesting even ABC was feeling the heat. Insiders claimed producers were starting to question whether Sunny's controversies were becoming too risky. Meanwhile, longtime fans of The View voiced frustration, saying the show had shifted from meaningful dialogue to hot takes and personal shots. Carrie's supporters rallied harder, framing her lawsuit as a stand against reckless media behavior. To them, this wasn't just about Carrie. It was about holding powerful voices accountable. And Carrie? She wasn't tweeting or doing interviews. She was letting the legal system speak for her. As the pressure on Sunny mounted, her future on The View seemed shaky. The internet wasn't just watching, it was judging. And Carrie Underwood had turned a moment of backlash into a full-blown statement. Sometimes, the strongest comeback is a courtroom, not a camera.